Stop obsessing over your net worth. Hit these 4 milestones first if you actually want financial security. We hear constantly that you need a certain net worth to be successful. Maybe it's $100,000, $500,000, or even $1 million. But here's the problem. A big net worth number can feel so far away that it becomes completely discouraging. If you're living paycheck to paycheck, paying off debt, raising a family, or simply trying to get your finances under control, watching someone else celebrate their $1 million portfolio doesn't necessarily help you move forward. What does help are milestones you can actually reach. Instead of asking, "How much am I worth?" start asking, "How financially secure am I becoming?" There are 4 milestones that can completely change the way you think about your money. Building 1 month of emergency savings, eliminating consumer debt, saving 3 months of baseline expenses, and fully automating your investing. These milestones aren't about impressing anyone. They're about creating financial stability, reducing stress, and building a system that keeps working even when life gets unpredictable. And once you start hitting these milestones one by one, that intimidating net worth number becomes much less important because you're actually building the foundation that creates long-term wealth. The first milestone is building 1 full month of emergency savings. Notice that I didn't say 6 months, 12 months, or some giant number that feels impossible. Start with 1 month. Your emergency fund exists for one primary reason: to prevent an unexpected expense from becoming a financial crisis. Maybe your car needs a major repair. Your water heater breaks. Your hours at work get reduced. You have an unexpected medical or household expense. Without savings, these situations can immediately force you onto a credit card or into another form of debt. But having even 1 month of essential expenses sitting in a dedicated savings account creates breathing room. If your baseline monthly expenses are $3,000, your first milestone is $3,000, and once you reach it, celebrate the milestone because you've created something extremely valuable: financial resilience. This is also where automation becomes powerful. Instead of waiting to see what's left at the end of the month, decide on a specific amount that goes toward your emergency fund every payday. Even $50, $100, or $200 at a time can build momentum. The important thing is consistency. And if you use a tool like paycheckplanner.ai, you can organize your paycheck around your bills, savings goals, debt payments, and other priorities so you know exactly how much you can realistically direct toward your emergency fund. 1 month of savings may not sound impressive compared with $1 million net worth, but it can completely change how you respond to an unexpected financial emergency. The second milestone is reaching zero consumer debt. We're talking about credit cards, high interest, personal loans, buy-now-pay-later balances, and other debt that primarily finances consumption rather than building an asset. Debt can quietly destroy your financial progress because it takes future income and sends it backward. Imagine getting a raise and realizing that the extra money immediately disappears into credit card payments, or receiving a tax refund and using it to pay off yesterday's purchases instead of funding tomorrow's goals. That's the cycle you want to break. Reaching zero consumer debt gives you something incredibly valuable: cash flow freedom. Suddenly, money that used to go toward minimum payments can be redirected toward savings and investing. And you don't have to wait until every dollar of debt is gone to feel progress. Track the balances. Celebrate each account you eliminate. Watch the total fall. Every $1,000 reduction is a milestone. Every interest payment you eliminate is a win. Most importantly, stop measuring your financial success only by net worth while you're still fighting debt. If your net worth is negative because of consumer debt, your first goal isn't necessarily becoming a millionaire. Your first goal is becoming financially lighter. Create a debt payoff plan, automate your payments, and avoid adding new consumer debt while you're attacking the existing balances. Paycheckplanner.ai can help you organize your paycheck so bills, debt payments, savings, and other financial priorities are accounted for before you decide what money is available to spend. Eliminating consumer debt doesn't make you rich overnight, but it can create the cash flow that eventually helps you become wealthy. The third milestone is building 3 months of baseline expenses. This is where your financial foundation starts becoming significantly stronger. Your baseline expenses are not necessarily everything you spend in a normal month. Think about the expenses you genuinely need to maintain your household: housing, utilities, groceries, insurance, transportation, minimum debt obligations, and other essential costs. Once you know that baseline number, multiply it by 3. If your essential expenses are $3,000 per month, your target would be $9,000. Now, that number might sound intimidating, especially if you're starting from zero. But remember, this is milestone number 3, not milestone number 1. You already built your first month of emergency savings. You've hopefully made progress eliminating consumer debt. Now you're expanding that financial cushion. 3 months of baseline expenses can provide a much greater sense of security if your income suddenly changes. It gives you time to make decisions instead of immediately making desperate financial choices. And here's another reason this milestone matters. It gives you options. Maybe you need to find a new job. Maybe you want to transition careers. Maybe your business has a slow period. Maybe your family experiences an unexpected financial challenge. Having several months of essential expenses saved doesn't guarantee everything will be easy, but it gives you more time and flexibility. The key is to build this fund systematically. Break the target into smaller monthly or paycheck-based goals. That's where paycheck planning becomes incredibly useful. With paycheckplanner.ai, you can see how much money's available after your obligations and intentionally assign part of each paycheck toward your emergency savings target. You're not trying to magically find $9,000. You're building it one paycheck at a time. The fourth milestone is fully automated investing. This is where your financial system begins shifting from simply protecting your money to actively building long-term wealth. Investing doesn't have to start with huge amounts of money. The milestone is creating a system where investing happens consistently without requiring you to remember, debate, or constantly make the decision every month. Think about what happens when investing is completely dependent on motivation. One month, you invest $500. The next month, you have an unexpected expense. The month after that, you forget. Eventually, months turn into years, and the consistency disappears. Automation solves part of that problem. Once your financial foundation is in place, set up recurring contributions to the appropriate investment accounts based on your goals and circumstances. The exact investments and contribution amounts depend on your situation, but the principle is universal. Make the behavior automatic. Your future should not depend entirely on how motivated you feel today. This is also why the first 3 milestones matter so much. If you have no emergency savings and you're investing money you might need next month, you're creating unnecessary financial pressure. If you're carrying expensive consumer debt, investing may not be your only priority. Build the foundation first, then make long-term investing a consistent part of your financial system. And remember, the goal isn't to become wealthy overnight. The goal is to create a process that compounds over time. When every paycheck automatically contributes toward your future, you're no longer simply hoping to build wealth. You're actively building the machinery that can help make it happen. Here's the bigger lesson. Your net worth is a measurement, but these 4 milestones are actions. Your net worth can go up and down because of markets, housing prices, business values, debt, and other factors you don't completely control. But you can control whether you're building an emergency fund. You can control whether you're paying down consumer debt. You can control whether you're building a 3-month financial cushion. And you can control whether you're consistently investing for the future. That's why these milestones can be much more motivating than staring at a net worth number that feels impossibly far away. So instead of asking yourself, how long until I reach $1 million? Ask yourself, how close am I to my next milestone? Maybe you're at $400 in emergency savings. Your next target is 1 month. Maybe you have 3 credit cards and you've already paid off 1. Your next milestone is eliminating the second. Maybe you've saved 1 month of expenses. Now you're working toward 3. Maybe you're investing manually. Your next step is automating those contributions. Each milestone creates momentum. And if you want help organizing the process around your actual paychecks, visit paycheckplanner.ai. Use it to plan your bills, debt payments, savings goals, and financial priorities so every paycheck has a purpose. Don't let a giant net worth number make you feel behind. Focus on the next milestone. Build the system and keep moving forward. Because we are building real financial progress one step at a time.